Welcome back to the Ribbon Cut podcast by Strata Platforms. I'm Susan Donkers, and I'm joined by my co-host, Charles Hauser.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Greenville.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I always love coming home to Greenville.
We've been busy on the road.
Yes, and Amy, who currently, she lives in Arizona, but she was in Tennessee last week at the Rural Economic Developers Association, NREDA.
Yep.
And Chris right now is at Economics in Orlando.
So we've all been on the road.
The entire company's on the road.
Which led us to today's podcast, which is we get lots of questions about our software when we're traveling and on the road, especially since 90% of the participants of most of the places we go are either economic developers or corporate site selectors or utilities who are acting as economic developers.
Exactly.
And as a software provider, you get a lot more questions because it's not just where you're from and, who's, what do you do for your community. It is Strata Platforms. We've got software platforms. Well, tell me about those software platforms. So we thought we would get into a Q&A, most asked questions about our software platform. And this episode, we're going to focus on LOIS, which is a property marketing platform for economic developers or anybody that is looking to get visibility on properties that they want to sell or attract site selection projects to. So we thought we'd spend some time and going back and forth on Q&A. And hopefully at the end of this, everyone who spends a few minutes watching us will understand what the benefits of LOIS is and why you should have a property marketing map on your website. So let's get into this. Susan, LOIS was born out of a utility, correct? Tell me how LOIS was born.
That's a question that I field every day. LOIS was born at an energy utility in Kansas City, Missouri. At the time, it was Kansas City Power and Light, and now it's Evergy. And the story that, as it was told to me, is back in the late 90s, when it was very expensive to build websites, communities across the utility territory were asking their utility partner, will you please help me build a website for my community? And why do you want to build a website? Well, we want to feature our areas, our demographics, our workforce, our sites, and our buildings. We want to attract new business, and we want to use websites as one of our marketing tools. Well, the utility decided that instead of building and writing checks to every single community, that what they ended up doing is developing a software platform that would enable anyone to put their site and building and community information up onto a map and embed this map widget, for lack of a better term, where this GIS map that stores all of this information and showcases it visually can then be placed onto a pretty otherwise lower cost website at the time.
Yeah.
Websites have obviously come a long way since then. But this was I call it the He-Man, She-Ra method. My high school math teacher would teach us the long way of calculating things for about a week. And then we'd come in the next week and he'd say, now I'm going to show you the He-Man, She-Ra method of doing it better, faster, quicker. And I would say LOIS was the energy utilities way of spending money in a strategic way to build a software platform that multiple people could use, multiple organizations could then coordinate their property marketing with each other.
Yeah. So it makes perfect sense to me. So essentially, what is LOIS? It's a public-facing map co-branded on an economic developer's website or someone acting as an economic developer. It could also be a commercial real estate agent. Anyone that wants to show sites or buildings or properties that may attract investors.
Mm-hmm.
So someone that can visually see their real estate assets in their region. That's what LOIS is.
Absolutely.
And so who uses it? We just touched on it. Economic development organizations, industrial real estate firms, anybody looking to market sites, properties, buildings, or railroads are also acting as
energy utilities, gas
utilities.
utilities.
So lots of different organizations are trying to market sites or properties, or in the case of commercial real estate agents, sell commercial real estate properties, right? So
I would say the common thread is economic development, meaning the types of competitive projects that are creating new jobs. That's the niche that LOIS has been in since the late 90s, so 25, 26, 27 years. And because it's developed that niche, the information that's collected and displayed on the GIS maps is tilted in that direction. It's all about attracting new investors to communities.
exactly. And so the value proposition for our customers is you don't need to build out a site and figure out and hire someone to figure out how to showcase these properties and integrate it into a map.
You don't have to do custom software development because LOIS is a software that you can custom configure.
Correct.
You can build on top of.
Correct. So anybody is a good prospect if they want to showcase properties on a map, and they don't have to hire a web developer to go type it for them. They can hire us or subscribe to us, and we do it for them.
Exactly.
So what types of information appear on the site and building listings or the property profiles in LOIS?
The property profile, we call it the property details, and it's almost always a 2-pager. So one of the primary things that show up there is the economic development contact, because LOIS is really designed to educate leads and then bring them in the door so that they ask the economic development contact for more information. That's the goal. So the economic development contact person is always featured prominently. And then sometimes the industrial real estate contact is featured right below them, because sometimes these properties are co-marketed between the industrial real estate team and the economic development teams. In fact, I was on a call on Monday with a prominent commercial real estate and industrial real estate broker in North Carolina, really kind of pounding the table on this coordination between real estate brokers and economic developers. So first, LOIS facilitates that co-marketing.
Yes.
Then there's more detailed information because it's targeted towards economic development. You're going to have more detailed infrastructure and utility information than you would on a commercial real estate platform. So rail, gas, water, wastewater, electric. It's not going to answer how much capacity is on the electric grid, okay? We know that is a global issue and only the utilities have that information. But it is going to give you more information than just the address.
Or a standard commercial real estate listing.
Correct.
It's no doubt. It goes into a little bit more detail. I think what sets it apart from just a standard commercial real estate listing is there's going to be, if you're an economic developer, you want to tell the story about your community.
Yes.
Right? So you just want to tell a story about, if you're in Greenville, South Carolina, why Greenville's a good place to maybe put a project. Or the workforce statistics. That's obviously very important. If you're obviously thinking about putting a project in Greenville that needs 800 workers, you want to know about the workforce. And that is the difference between maybe a listing on LOIS versus a commercial real estate listing. That's not going to go into that in as much detail.
Demographic data. That's not going to be as detailed on a commercial real estate platform either. So the demographic data on education attainment and the number of people in the workforce and their geographic spread and who might be commuting. Also, in the property media section, all of our subscribers can have unlimited photos, unlimited videos, unlimited due diligence reports, infrastructure specs. So we have some clients that are just doing a phenomenal job in terms of all the due diligence information is in there. You've got infrastructure maps, drone footage.
Yep.
And then I wanted to share that if there's been a lot of advancement in the property media space. I mean,
Yes.
remember how expensive it used to be. But now there are ways to create photos and create videos for a lot less of an expense than at any time
Yep.
in history.
Yep.
And we have a couple of partners
Yes.
that provide that service to clients if they need it.
And it's a proven scientific fact that if you have visualization or movement or photos on a listing, it gets viewed a lot more than those who do not have that.
Oh, yeah. It's not even close.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking double digits. Also, something because we have unlimited ability to upload media, we have a couple of economic developers who are really leaning into giving the pitch. So, the type of pitch that an economic developer would give at a meeting or at a breakfast or at a presentation, there's the ability to use a software app like Loom or any other kind of app to record a couple minute pitch about your properties and communities. You can upload that right to your property listing and introduce yourself and your community in a very friendly, approachable way. So we have a few clients that are using that.
Yeah, that's no question. And the ones that use that the most or the most active, they get the most views. I mean, that's just the way it works. So let's talk about the data on LOIS. A lot of different places to get data. Is the data customizable that is shown on LOIS?
Yes, absolutely. If the data exists out there in the world, it can be mapped in a shapefile in a geospatial way and put on the map. So we like to say, if you've got it, we can map it. I know I'm always telling these stories, but I mean, that's literally a line from Spaceballs where they say, smoke them if you got them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you got it, we can map it. So data comes from Esri has demographics data. Lightcast has providing our workforce data. We have partners like Data Axle for obtaining information such as large employers for a community to show where their existing investors are. And you can obtain that information by industry sector so that you can have a sector-specific marketing strategy. You've got data that's coming in from federal agencies. We've got clients that bring data in from their university GIS departments. We can use the Living Atlas from Esri. We're on Google Base Maps. We use Google Street View. The point is that LOIS is a tool to market the strengths and assets of a location and then to reverse engineer into what data and what visuals need to be brought in to showcase that. So there's no client that has the exact same map as another client.
Yes.
Every single map is a little bit different.
And I think
exactly what people want to feature.
And I think that's probably one of the main differentiators for us and and LOIS is that you can map anything you want. If you want to show that your property is right next door to a Chick-fil-A, you can map all the Chick-fil-A's in your area. If you want to show how close it is to the intermodals, you can showcase the intermodals or hospitals or
ports,
railroads or
inland ports, airports.
If
rail
you
corridors.
can map it, LOIS can display it. That's I think one of the main things that I want in this Q&A today to get across is that one of the ways that we're a little bit different is that we allow our customers to map anything they want.
Highly customizable, highly configurable. And we really during the business development process, we're aligning on those needs. And some of the data we can bring to the table ourselves because we are purchasing it. Some of the data our clients need to bring, and some clients can bring it for a lower cost, right?
Yes.
Because they might have access to a state agency or a university. And then some data sets we go out together and we find the correct partner and negotiate a fee and pass that cost through.
And we've done that.
And we do that.
Yeah.
So it's highly configurable. We align on that together. And then in the first 2 weeks to 4 weeks to 6 weeks, it kind of depends on per assignment, we get those maps created and showcased on clients' websites.
Yeah. So that's very important.
We don't walk around saying that we're a mapping company, but we're a mapping company.
Yes. That is the visualization of properties is very important on the customer experience for our customers.
Mm-hmm.
And so absolutely, we are a mapping company. Tell me this. Now everybody's on their phone.
Yes.
How does it work from a mobile perspective?
So it was designed to be mobile friendly, both on the phone and on the tablet. We've tried it out on both. It is bringing out the bottom of, so it's featuring the map as the primary user experience on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the bottom, there's a navigation bar where you can see properties on a list. You can see properties on the map, and you can navigate to a few other sections of the software. It condenses down the view to really be focused on those site and building assets, because that it's assuming that the user is out in the field doing a virtual site visit or a field site visit.
Got it.
And needs to bring up the information about the property records.
That makes sense. So we've kind of talked about the value proposition for a particular end user on why they would utilize LOIS.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about for some of our economic development organizations out there that are maybe states or regions. How does LOIS integrate with a state or region? How does that work?
Well, one of the things that we hear quite frequently from our regional and state clients is how they need to have a regional brand presence that brings all their partners together under one umbrella,
mm-hmm.
and still allows each one of their partners to be unique and differentiated once the project is looking down at that more local level.
Mm-hmm.
So at a regional or state level, all the site and building data can roll up onto one map, and the state organization can show the GIS data layers and the third-party data that they want to show. And then that same exact site and building data is shown at the regional and local level for that specific partner.
Mm-hmm.
So the state gets the benefit of having coordinated information across a broad geographic territory, and the regional and local partner gets the benefit of having their information just solely focused down to their more specific geographic territory. The takeaway from that, we call it the umbrella subscription. It allows multiple organizations to coordinate with each other and, be out there focused on global business attraction as a coordinated team.
Mm-hmm.
But then once an investor or a site selector winds up on your specific website, the branding and the features that are being marketed are more specific
mm-hmm.
to your location.
So since we are in Greenville, South Carolina, and I've lived here almost my entire life, let's use South Carolina as an example. But the state Department of Commerce or the state economic development organization in South Carolina could purchase an umbrella
mm-hmm.
subscription. Therefore, a regional,
mm-hmm.
such as Western South Carolina Economic Alliance,
mm-hmm.
which is a regional or upstate alliance in the upstate, could also utilize that map.
Mm-hmm.
And then also down to a local, like the city of Greenville
mm-hmm.
or the county of Pickens. So one state subscription could be passed.
Purchase as many as 350 subscriptions.
Yeah. And that's also a big differentiator
mm-hmm.
with our mapping platform compared to some of others that are in the market, that a state can buy a umbrella subscription, and every single economic development organization underneath that state
mm-hmm.
also has access to the same maps.
Absolutely. It's it's actually quite staggering, the numbers. So for some of our state clients that might have 96 counties and 14 regions, and when you actually add up all the people, we're talking 350 people, 600 people. They want to invite their industrial real estate broker partners in. And so one subscription umbrella can really encompass every single economic developer across that service territory. Now, we typically, utilities and railroads are not a part of that because utilities and railroads have their own economic development departments and their own budgets, and they have more, usually a multi-state territory, and so they are sold their own subscriptions separately to them.
Yep.
But for the state level subscriptions, absolutely. Everybody's coordinated together and also has their own link to put on their own website to customize to their own attributes.
Yes. And the locals or the regionals have access and manage their property database.
Yes.
Just like somebody the state could.
Yes, everybody. So let's say there's 600 people across the state. Every single one of them would have a login and a password. They go into the back end. We call it the administration or the admin site. And the person at the more local level who is responsible, accountable for that property record would be the one that would keep it updated. For the economic development properties, that's a lower volume of properties that they're keeping updated.
Yep.
And then sometimes our clients choose to purchase a commercial real estate data feed so that they can bring in more of the commercial real estate properties. And we have data partners who are providing those feeds that we work with and already have integrations already set up with. They have MLS associations have logins and passwords for no additional fee. So if the state wants to bring in their real estate MLS association, industrial real estate brokers are added. This is all, there's no additional fees for this. We talked about unlimited photos, unlimited videos, unlimited users. It's really about, it's about allowing there to be a coordination amongst many industry partners under one umbrella subscription.
That makes sense to me.
I mean, that's really gets to the heart of Strata Platforms, is removing those roadblocks and removing those silos.
And it also allows the regions to tell their own story with their own workforce data.
Correct.
With the things that they're trying to market to attract business to them. So, again, using the state of South Carolina as an example, Pickens, South Carolina likes to talk about what they have going on. So does Darlington, South Carolina. So does North Augusta, Aiken, right? And so it allows each of those regions to maintain their own identity and sell their own attributes, even though it's a state-run or a state-bought subscription.
Absolutely. And we have multiple different case studies of that from participating communities. And also, I think from a state level perspective, it reduces the amount of coordination, just kind of that administrative time to get everybody on the same page. Because if all of your partners across your state have their own logins and passwords and are managing their own data sets, that really reduces the amount of bad information and just the delay, right, of sending emails out and collecting all of that in some other way. Also, I wanted to just point out that kind of like the murmuring across our industry is, man, site and building databases are never updated. Right. And one of the ways that we feel like we are helping the industry keep everything updated is because of our sister software application, Lasso. As information comes back for active site selection projects through Lasso, and economic developers are filling out the property record of just, the top 25 to 50 data points that identify what this property is. None of the private information, but just those public-facing attributes. that information is now stored in the backend database. So then as a client wants to license use of our mapping platform, they can lever that information up
Yes.
and reuse it.
Makes sense.
So we're doing our best to use the market push for or I guess the market demand for site selection project information, and then lever that sense of urgency that you get around those site selection projects to keep databases updated.
Yes. We already talked about how LOIS integrates with a lot of other data sources, third-party data sets, the fact that we can map a lot of different things. Can LOIS help support business attraction efforts as well? So I guess not just mapping data sets, but also tell the story of business attraction efforts. And when I think about this, before I'm not answering it for you, but one of the things that we have of a differentiator at LOIS is we also have a public-facing website that is under our assets called location1.com. Tell me about location1.com and how LOIS fits into location1.com.
Location1.com, I think of it very similarly to Google Flights. It's an aggregator. It's a meta aggregator, and I would have said it's meta, but then Facebook stole the word meta, so I can't say that anymore. But it's an aggregator of information across multiple clients so that all property listings for all clients all across North America are on one map. So it's an economic development website of property information across North America. 55,000 sites and buildings across North America are shown. And we're starting to see some global interest in LOIS.
I think that's one thing that we need to talk about more is Location One. Well, let me back up. If you are a subscriber to LOIS as an economic development organization, and you have, let's call it 10 sites or buildings or properties that you are marketing under your co-branded website, all 10 of those properties would also have their own listing on location1.com. So it's a roll-up of all the properties of all of our customers into one public-facing location1.com website that we are going to really start marketing to the world. And I would say that one of the best things about that is we haven't really even started marketing all of those assets to the world. There's 55,000 properties. There are roughly 9,000 eyeballs on a monthly basis that view properties on that site across, I think we're up to 30 or 40 countries now.
57.
57 countries. So
worth of people looking at the website.
Correct.
Clicks.
So, and you get that listing with your subscription.
Yes, it's included.
It is included. And we are going to start marketing Location One from an SEO perspective as we get bigger and have more resources. So we really want to pump up that site. And you're getting that listing with your subscription of LOIS. And so that really it sets us apart a little bit differently than our competitors because we do have a public-facing site. So your properties, they don't have to just come to your regional economic website or your state's website. They can also find these properties on a public-facing website. So wanted to make sure that everyone understood that because location1.com and LOIS can get intertwined. There is a difference. Location1.com, public-facing website. You can type it in. You can search buildings, sites, and as Susan said, there's 55,000 properties on there. LOIS is your co-branded site that is public-facing to your customers.
On your website.
On your website. So
Location One's our website.
yes.
LOIS goes on your website.
Correct.
And I would say you answered how we are really focused on business attraction, because Location One as a website has existed. It was put together by Lisa Franklin back in 2015, but it wasn't marketed globally. And we have started to market it globally because of some of the insights that we learned back when I was working for a site selection consulting company. Foreign direct investors want there to be one place to go and see as many economic development properties as possible. So the market has asked us for it, and we're delivering it. And we're looking for as many people to participate as possible. And so we've priced that service accordingly. It is more affordable to put a listing on Location One than on any other competing platform.
Correct. Which is a great segue into my next topic or question. If I'm an industrial real estate broker, we focused a lot on economic development organizations. But if I'm an industrial real estate broker, can LOIS actually help my property listings reach more site selections or prospects? How does that work?
Yes. I would say if you're an industrial real estate broker that has property that you want economic development projects to come to, then LOIS and Location One as the co-listing
Yes.
are a good fit.
Yes.
Meaning on the website of the industrial broker, and we have a handful of industrial brokers that use our software, and we have some interest from real estate investment trusts and from industrial parks.
Yes.
So, fitting the niche of economic development. The features and benefits of LOIS are the same, meaning a GIS map on the website with sites and buildings featured, and then the GIS data layers that the broker wants to feature about that property. All of that is retained, and also received the co-listing on Location One. And so if an industrial real estate broker does not have a map on their website, it's definitely an easy lift. It's an easy thing to consider us. And I would say that it's gonna be a really big ROI. It's maximizing the visibility for a pretty low expense.
I think that if you're an industrial real estate broker or a commercial real estate agent, obviously the 800-pound gorilla is the CoStar, LoopNet listings. But if you are a smaller broker with a subset of 2 or 3 properties that you're really trying to market, we can do the same thing for you as we can for a small economic development organization. We can co-brand it under your site with our map and your properties with your listings under your map. And it also allows you to really, with some of the things we offer in our subscription, you will get workforce data along with that. So if you're an industrial, if you're trying to market a 500,000 square foot site and you really need corporate end users to take a look at that, the first thing they're going to want to know is the workforce around that site. They're also going to want to know lots of things that are not just captured in a normal real estate flyer. They are going to want to know how much water and how much power the workforce, and all of that is combined. And so there is a little bit more depth to the listing that your prospects are going to want to know. And so I think that that's one of the things that we haven't talked about that a ton, but commercial real estate agents and industrial brokers are great prospects for LOIS to have your co-branded under your brand, under your site, have your properties that you can always control and update and maintain. So we don't talk about it a ton, but it is it's definitely one of those areas that we can help.
Yeah, I would just kind of giving a rule of thumb out there. If you're a broker or an industrial park or a REIT and you want a facility to wind up on your site that employs more than 20 people, then you should really give our software a look.
Yes, it's a great point. That's a great point. How easy is it for updating it? We just talked about it. You can control it and update information. That could scare some people. Like, I don't know how to update information that goes on my website. How easy is it to do it?
Well, it does require a login and a password. So if you don't want to log in or put in your password, it's going to be challenging. After you get through the login and password, it really functions kind of like an Excel spreadsheet in the cloud. You see all your properties in one list. You scroll over to the right and you can update data. You can also do it in bulk. So let's say you've got some information you're maintaining on an Excel spreadsheet. You can actually, that's how some clients do it. They download all of their properties to Excel spreadsheet, update some key information, upload it back up. It's that simple. Also, we have a customer service team, and our customer service team regularly jumps on the phone with our clients and helps them or walks them through it live.
Yeah. So you're not on your own.
You're not on your own.
Don't let it scare you.
It's one of the reasons. So I told a story in a different episode about Dell. I'm going to tell a story about Fidelity. One of the reasons I chose Fidelity as a money manager back 20 years ago is because of their customer service.
Yes.
You could call them and say, okay, I know I contributed money 6 months ago, but I forget what buttons to click. Can you remind me? This is important. I don't want to mess it up. We do the same thing. We will jump on the phone and just remind people of what to do so that there's always high quality information in there.
We have talked through, I think, in depth around the economic development organizations and how we can help state organizations from the state down to locals. I think we've made that value proposition pretty clear.
And we talked about industrial brokers.
Let's talk about utilities and railroads. Are they good prospects for LOIS?
Absolutely. We have Class 1 railroads. We have short line railroads. We have utilities, both on the electric and the gas side. Utilities and railroads are also attracting new investors to their service territory. So they want to feature the properties that are going to bring them the most new revenue. And they are also working as part of the economic development team to support the communities that they serve. So we have some utilities and railroads that are really focused on the business attraction side. And they're outfitting their map to with custom fields or with custom data layers to really attract that new business. They're really leaning in to the business attraction side. We have some other clients that the map on their website is more seen as a support of their community partner. So it doesn't really matter what the why is. There's a benefit, whether it's, hey, I'm going to really focus on lead gen, or I want to support my community partners by relisting their properties on my map. But we have dozens of utilities and railroads as clients.
Yeah, I think one of the things, obviously, we've talked about it before. I'm now almost 2 years into this, for a new world for me for economic development organizations and site selection. And I think one of the things that surprised me as I got into this is the fact that railroads and utilities act as economic development organizations. But now it totally makes sense to me. Because if you're a railroad, what do you want to do? You want to sell more rail cars. That's what you want to do. That's more of your product. How do you do that? You find new clients to put a new plant or industrial property on your rail line, and you will sell more rail cars. Well, the same is true for utilities, right? You want to sell more megawatts or gigawatts. And how do you do that? You find new clients to come into your territory and buy more power from you. So,
and just the right ones.
And that's right. That's right. So
none of the wrong ones.
We have great customers, as Susan said, Class 1 railroads, some of the United States' largest utilities that are customers of ours, and they're landing new projects because they are doing a good job as an economic development organization in conjunction with their territories
Mm-hmm.
to find and land new deals. So, anything else you want to add?
I think I just want to underscore as I think about LOIS, and I'm coming from a site selection consulting background, and as a site selection consultant, you don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time on site and building databases, because what you want to do is understand your client's project requirements and then send a site selection RFI out to the economic development organizations who will then reply back with the properties that are a good fit for the project. But as I've spent more time in the sector and talked with more organizations, really only 40 to 50% of the projects out there are run by site selectors.
Mm-hmm.
The other half are run by companies themselves.
Yes.
And so the need for site and building information on websites remains really strong. There's a high demand for that information because global investors and domestic companies want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the takeaway that I've been thinking about over this episode is every location is different. Even the county next door is different. It has a different feature that it wants to promote. And LOIS allows for that.
Mm-hmm.
Feature different GIS layers, feature different employers, feature different workforce data. It's highly configurable and customizable so that you put your best assets forward. And that back-end site and building information can be shared with your partners at the region and state level. So
Absolutely.
it kind of gets back to, think local and coordinate more regionally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the best part of collaborating with our clients, is really leaning into what makes them special and unique.
Well, I hope that the information we talked about today, whether you're a current user, maybe we brought up something you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a current user.
Yeah, that's a good point, because as Strata became the owner of this software platform over the past 18 months, we've been implementing many new features that our customers
Correct.
may not know about.
That's exactly right. So,
although we do email you.
yeah. Or you've never heard about LOIS, and this is the first time. I hope you've got a clear picture of what we do and our value proposition to our customers and how the platform works. And if you are a commercial real estate agent or an industrial real estate agent that wants your properties under your website with your own map, we can do that. Mm-hmm. And please let us know. Give us a call. But we will have more episodes of The Ribbon Cut in the future. I enjoyed this one, and thank you for your time.